Hello and welcome back to another video on the Football Zone, and today I thought I'd do a video where I'm going to recap my Premier League predictions from the beginning of the season and basically react to how I did on all of them. So yeah, without further ado, I'm really not sure how this is going to go, to be honest. I feel like I could have made some pretty shoddy picks in there. So yeah, let's get straight into it. We're going to start off with the top two, Man City and Arsenal. I wasn't far off, but of course I had Man City winning it again. Yeah, to be honest, I just couldn't see anyone stopping Man City. I really thought, yeah, they'd have too much once again. But yeah, that is that run at the beginning of the season that cost them. And Arsenal, so close yet so far again. Second place, I got them right. Just not the first place team. But yeah, I mean, for Arsenal, really disappointing, wasn't it? To miss out on the league title, especially when you had Arne Slot's Liverpool that just kind of came out of nowhere and pit them. And yeah, they were the team that I had in third place. And you have to say it was a really impressive achievement for Liverpool to get do what they've done this season in his first season, and Jeff fully deserved. With Newcastle fourth, I think that was more or less right, wasn't it? Obviously, just getting the Champions League by virtue of that lucky fifth place rule. So yeah, great season for Newcastle. I really felt without any European football, they benefit from that this season, and yeah, really so it's proven. I can't wait to see Champions League nights back at St James's Park. But yeah, for the next, so it was a shocker. Fifth and sixth, Tottenham and Manchester United. Yeah, that was a pretty poor prediction. I can't lie. Obviously, Tottenham fifth would have got the Champions League football, and so it's proved. But yeah, I definitely didn't expect them to finish 17th. And yeah. In the Premier League, it's been shocking, but Tottenham, I guess, in a way, it's a good season. But for Manchester United, first season under Jim Ratcliffe has been nothing short of a disaster all round. So yeah, really disappointing season for them. And seventh and eighth, I had Aston Villa and West Ham. I really thought Aston Villa, it's about where they finished, wasn't it? I don't know if European football would harm them or not, but I think Unai Emery continues to do a great job there, and yeah, they've absolutely smashed it. So yeah, credit to them. Great season for them. But for West Ham, it's just been really disappointing, hasn't it? I think a mistake to sack David Moyes. Obviously, he's saying hindsight now, but he did a great job there. Lopetegui just didn't work out, and then of course, Graham Potter has come in, maybe steady his ship a bit. I'm intrigued to see what he can do next season. Crystal Palace and Chelsea, 9th and 10th. Obviously, both these teams securing European football. I think it's been a successful season for both these teams. Obviously, just below Crystal Palace finished just below this, but for Chelsea, great season for them to secure Champions League football. Crystal Palace started slowly, improved at the end, but of course, they won't really care because they won the FA Cup. They stayed in the Premier League. Who really cares except for that? Great job for them. But for Chelsea, great first season from Resca, and yeah, can't wait to see Cole Palmer and people like that cook in the Champions League next season. Moving on then to the bottom half, Brighton and Fulham, and yeah, both these teams were really close to facing a drop, getting into Europe this season. Sorry, facing a drop. Really impressive season for both of them. I think Brighton, especially, will be disappointed to just miss out. Fulham, maybe not getting to Wembley in the cups will be disappointing for them. So yeah, I think both these teams will look back with regret. But on the whole, it's been a pretty decent season for the both of them. I think that's fair to say. So yeah, moving on then to Wolves and Everton. And yeah, I think Wolves and Everton kind of roughly where they finished. I think, they were always like to be lower mid-table this season, in all fairness, with everything going on at their respective clubs. So yeah, I think they'll be pretty pleased with that. Wolves, of course, suffering that tough start to the season, but recovering. Everton getting a takeover done. David Moyes back at the club. I feel like it's definitely the best manager for them. So yeah, I think both these teams will be pretty satisfied in the end with where they've ended up this season. And then really lower league table, I was definitely wrong with these two. Both these teams have massively exceeded my expectations. Bournemouth and Nottingham Forest. Forest, of course, you can say they faded away at the end, but just like where I predicted them, it's been such an impressive season from them to get to be in the Champions League most of the season firstly, and then in the end just miss out, but still get to the point where they're going to be playing Europe next season. They've got a great chance of winning the Conference League as well. But for Bournemouth as well, just missed out on Europe as well, faded at the end, but it's still been a hugely impressive season for them. I had Ipswich just staying up. I felt like the momentum they have from back-to-back promotions. The new owners obviously putting a lot of money would be enough to really elevate them up the league, but in the end didn't quite work out. It just shows the big gulf at the moment, doesn't it, between some of those teams? I'm gonna say Brentford obviously had a much better season than I was expected. Just keep defying the odds. For a club of that size to be doing what they're doing, really is just so impressive, isn't it? So yeah, great stuff for them. And then I was right with the bottom two teams, Leicester and Southampton. I just really didn't feel like they'd be able to stay up, and so so it's proved really. Yeah, basically just didn't have enough quality throughout, and yeah. Back to the Championship, there's still a whole host of financial issues. Southampton, off the back of being one of the worst teams in history, let's face it, hasn't really worked, has it? I'm relatively pleased with my predictions. I mean, there's been a few honkers, but on the whole, I feel like it was pretty decent throughout. So yeah, we'll do it again next year. This video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, follow us on our socials. Link in the description below for daily football news, meme, and content. Subscribe for our other channels on screen right now. That'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.